This video was in no way sponsored by Nintendo Switch. By Nintendo Switch, even though I wasn't sponsored. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. In the last episode, we did the Jabai Shrine, and in this episode, we're going to be moving on to that shrine over there. Okay, let's head on down. Okay, for one thing I want to start off for, and why I put emphasis on episode was, I guess it's more applicable for people who, also record just stuff in general. You know, like, you just look back in your recording and you realize all the embarrassing stuff that you said. Or not embarrassing, but, just the blatant mistakes that you made. Because I was looking back in the last episode, and I found out that when I brought in the last episode, I accidentally said, in the last game, and it's like, what am I talking about last game? It's like, I never even played a Legend of Zelda game for this channel before. But, yeah, whatever. But anyway, this episode we're going to be heading on up here, so let's head on this way. And I see a lovely cottage over there. Hold on. Let me crouch, because I want to shoot down that beehive, because I believe if I do, those bees will attack those bokoblins, or at least scare them off into a more favorable position for me. Oops. Fine, I'll get closer. Okay. But, I guess how my day went... Actually, kind of going to talk about the Nintendo Switch a bit more. Just a bit more, actually. Oh man, I like this thing. Anyway, what was I getting at? Oh yeah, my... There we go. Anyway, as for how my day has been, it's been, I guess, kind of interesting. Speaking about Nintendo, actually, I found out, I heard that apparently, EA has decided that they won't have a presentation for this E3 conference, so E3 2019, which is kind of interesting because it's kind of piggybacking a bit off the fact that PlayStation has confirmed, like, I think a couple months ago, like last year even, that they won't be having a presentation for 2019 E3 either, which is just kind of interesting because I know people have talked about how E3 is kind of a shell of its former... I don't know if I'd say a shell of its former self exactly, but it doesn't have as much of a, I guess, world-renowned standing as it used to be amongst, just, I guess, consumers is what I want to say. Which is interesting, but, personally for me, I love E3, and even if I'm not interested in, like, a specific company, I always, will take the time to... Well, for some reason my controller stopped responding for a second. But, I always take the time to watch it. It's just some passive time I just love. Let's read this. The Old Man's Diary. On this desolate plateau, the only pleasure that brings me comfort is cooking. And today, I outdid myself. Truly, I created the perfect dish. I call it spicy meat and seafood fry. This recipe is not only restores health, but it also keeps me warm even when traveling in the snowy mountains. With this dish on my side, I no longer have need of that itchy warm doublet. Or double? I don't know. I do not know how I allowed this to happen, but it seems I forgot to write down a very important recipe. I know it contained raw meat and spicy pepper, however, I simply cannot remember what else I used. My age is catching up to me. Sadly, on this lonely plateau, I have only my own knowledge and memory to rely on. Still, if I did find someone who knew the missing ingredient, I would happily reward him with my warm double. However, it seems unlikely that such a miraculous wish will ever be fulfilled. Okay, yeah, I've read this before, but I never knew, what the last piece of the ingredient was. It's probably something very easy. Wait, let me see it again. Wait, spicy meat and seafood fry. Well, I'm guessing you need a fish. But, yeah, I don't know about that. But anyway, like I said, I've always loved E3. I mean, even if it's gonna not have, Nintendo, even though it's not gonna have PlayStation or, EA, I'm still gonna watch it regardless of such. Oh, fancy that. So we meet again. What are you doing? I thought this tree here might make for some good firewood. However, getting a tree to fall exactly where you want it. Where you want it to is quite an art. The trick is to turn your hips so that they face where you want the tree to land. So, I see you found my axe. Why not help me out and give it a few swings? I'm rigging up quite a sight here, but these old bones could use a break. Here we go. Easy there! There, I did it for you. Oh, I see you did my work for me. Wonderful! Go ahead and take some of that wood for yourself. Don't be shy now. Oh, there we go. You can use this to make a campfire if you have something to light it with. We'll get that other thing later. Hold on, I want to talk to you. Do you say anything else about... Thank you for helping out my days for this one. What are you doing? I'm heading home. I can't offer you much other than a solid roof and good company, but you're free to join me. If you need to take a rest, go ahead and use my bed. Unlike a fireside nap, sleeping in a proper bed should really rejuvenate you. But, yeah, I guess I don't have much more. Well, I mean, I'm sure some people are disappointed that PlayStation won't be there. I'm not sure how many people are disappointed that, EA won't be there, especially given, Anthem's release, and from what I've heard, apparently EA is actually rated one of the lowest rated companies in the US, apparently, which is interesting. I mean, I'm not exactly a big EA fan in the first place, so I can't really speak on that, but yeah. Okay, so why I'm holding around here is because I want to see if he talks to me about that warm double or something. What is it? What are you doing? This body of mine is what I use. Recovering from a bout of hard work takes a while. If you're hungry, have an empty pot you use to cook yourself a meal. Got any tips? Simply open up your inventory, grab all the ingredients, and toss them in. Try to consider adding ingredients to complement one another. You can even make a dish that increases your stamina. It's all about being creative and trying different things. Oh ho ho. I guess while I'm standing here, I might as well try to cook. Hold you, and you. Hold you, and you. Wait, am I? Not? Hold on. There we go. For some reason, I wasn't holding the drumstick. Sure. And cook. And spicy pepper steak. Oh my. That's definitely going to be helpful for us a bit later. But I think we wasted enough time. Let's head on over to the shrine. So another thing that I've been doing, and well, I'm honestly more sad to say it, but I probably won't have to give up on it, is I've been trying to learn Tarahumara. For those of you who don't know, Tarahumara or Raramuri is a Native American tribe that lives in the Chihuahua province of northern Mexico. And yeah, so northern Mexico is sort of like south of the border of the US. And so I've been trying to learn the language because I just recently came across it and I just became really interested in it. Hey, you know, I thought it'd be like, okay, it'd be pretty cool to, you know, at least attempt to learn it. But, well, the problem is that there's only, like, I'm pretty sure there's only, like, one dictionary that's Tarahumara to English, and no joke, that dictionary was made in 1955. So, yeah, perhaps a bit out of date, really. And, I mean, I have the dictionary, actually, because my school's library has it. But, I don't know, because I also got a book that has a parallel text of Tarahumara, and Spanish. And I translated the Spanish part to try to get a better understanding of what the main context, what the idea of each sentence is. But despite that, I really can't figure it out for the life of me, which is such a shame. So I may end up giving up on trying to learn Tarahumara because, really, from what I understand about the language, there's a lot of special little nuances about it. Basically, from what I understand, they combine a lot of words into bigger words, and basically it makes them adopt new meanings, but it's not as simple as literally translate the two parts of the word and you get the new word. It really is just like they put two words together and they just really understand how they go together to get an entirely different meaning. I don't have an example on the top of my head, but it's like, try to look some up and you may be able to find some really crazy results. But yeah, one thing that really made Breath of the Wild popular is being able to climb in pretty much anywhere, anytime, unless it's raining, but there are mods for that. But anyway, and so that's one reason why they put these rush shrooms up here, because if you, well, I'll show it when we get up here, actually. If you consume a rush shroom, well, not actually, you don't consume it, you can't recover anymore. Yeah, so if you cook rush shrooms, you can make a, basically a potion, I think. I haven't done it lately, but you can make a potion that'll basically restore your stamina. Or not restore your stamina, but extend your stamina wheel, rather. But yeah, it's a shame, but, well, I guess I do know a bit about Tarahumara culture, though, so I might as well talk a bit about that. So, like I said, they live in northern Mexico in the Chihuahua province, which is, like, immediately below the, U.S. border, like, right below Texas, New Mexico, all that sort, the southwest, basically. And so, yeah, and one thing that they're probably most famous for is, maybe two things, actually, is one is they are actually a very big tribe. Like, I think right now they number in, like, the 80,000s, actually. Which, for a native, what the heck? Why did he just drop like that? But, for a Native American tribe, that's, from modern days anyway, that's really big, actually. Given, the very long history with, they don't have to be jerks about it. Anyway, given the long history with them and the settlers from Europe and all that. But another thing that they are probably the most famous for is how many of them how they are known as, like, the running people. From what I've read, they can run literally miles and not need a break in between. From what I understand, how they do it is basically, they just really know how to pace themselves very well. And it's, like, something that's basically instilled in them from childhood. And, you know, obviously I'm not an expert on this, so take everything I'm saying with a pinch of salt. I can very well be wrong, and I'll happily accept that, because, you know, that isn't my culture and all that. But that's from what I understood in my readings. And, I also played, Mulaka, which is a game on basically every modern console and PC that, talks about Tarahumara culture. So I've been playing that, and I've been doing research, because actually I do want to do a Let's Play on it one day, and, like, actually be able to teach you guys about Tarahumara culture from what I'm able to ascertain. And I've learned a couple of things. I've learned a couple of words that I am pretty sure are actual Tarahumara words and all that. But yeah. But still, it's a shame to have to, like, give up, trying to learn the language, but, you know, some things you just have to know to give up on, and, you know, it's not, and another thing is, I'll never really become fluent in the language for two reasons. One, you know, it isn't my culture, so I don't, and it's very hard to understand the culture from, like, my angle, so I'll never really understand the culture and the language in depth to really do it justice. And also the fact is, and also people recommend, if you really want to learn a language, like, go to where that language is spoken heavily. So, like, if you want to learn French, go to France, or, like, the French part of Canada, though the French is slightly different there. Spanish, go to Spain or Mexico, but once again, the Spanish is kind of different a bit. But, you know, it's kind of hard to go to fairly remote villages in northern Mexico when I currently live in, like, the northeast part of the United States. I mean, obviously not impossible, but, not within reason for me, anyway. So, yeah, but I do kind of want to just switch gears and try to learn Japanese. And, you know, you probably heard this reason before if you ever talk to people who want to learn Japanese, but I want to learn Japanese because, Japanese exclusive video games, like, there are some, maybe just like one Phoenix Wright game, for example, that, that never got translated, but still, yeah. The Owa Daim Shrine. Let's see what else. Another thing was, okay, so, I'm like a very, very negative person. Like, my voice may not sound like it, but I'm actually like a very negative person. Like, I'm pretty much a combination of everything. I'm like a masochist, I'm a nihilist, so basically, I get some sort of pleasure from pain. Nihilist being, I find little to no worth in life. I have depression, I have, hold on. To you who sets foot in this shrine, I am Owa Daim. In the name of the goddess Hylia, I offer this trial. The stasis trial. I remember this one kind of. It's gonna be fun. So I have depression, I am a suicide risk, gosh, what else? I mean, I have my several disabilities. Why am I supposed to say those? I have bilateral hearing loss, short-term memory loss, and peripheral neuropathy, basically nerve tissue damage. So, like, I'm a very negative person, and, like, I was talking with someone today, and, you know, I honestly feel like I'm one of those people who is, like, you know, there's people who say that, like, you could pretty much help everyone, but there's just some people who are, like, beyond help. Honestly, I feel I'm kind of, like, one of those people. Like, I honestly feel like I'm a bit more beyond help, really. Like, I'm very set in my negative mindset, sadly. And there's not really much that people could do to, change my opinion on that. I mean, really, the problem is, you know what the problem is for me is that I'm a person who really loves having proof of things, so, like, when people say, like, oh, you're such a wonderful person and all that, like, I just really can't believe them without having what I feel is some sort of proof, really. Any day now. Let's hope I make it, let's hope I make it. There we go. Ooh, traveler shield. And my inventory's full. Hold on. Yeah, so I'm like an uber negative person and all that, and I mean, I guess I never really found it a detriment to me at the moment. I mean, I wouldn't exactly say I have any friends per se, but at the same time, I don't really cry over that either. Just because, it's just kind of like how my life has been. It's like, I've been burned by so many people, so to speak, that it really doesn't faze me as much that I don't have friends, just because I just have a very general distrust in people. So, yeah, I guess. But, the reason why I brought it up was because I was talking with someone today, and, you know, I was talking to this one girl, you know, sweet girl and all that, but, gosh. You know, it's like when people say they relate to you, but it really doesn't feel like they actually do relate to you, just because, you know, we're all very individuals, and, yeah, I don't know. I guess I'll just go on through life. I'm sure some people know how I feel about that. But, that's another shrine completed. Your resourcefulness in overcoming this trial speaks to the promise of a hero. In the name of Goddess Hylia, I bestow upon you this spirit orb. the goddess smile upon you. You know, I never mentioned it until now, but I love all these Sheikah priests, I guess you call them. Just like how they have all these different positions that they rest in. It's just really cool how unique they made it in the game. And, you know, it's not something they really had to... You know, that's one thing that's great about this game. Nintendo did a lot of things that they really didn't have to do. But it's those little nuances that make the game even better, really. Before we end off, I do want to remove this. And let's have some fun with it. Let's just puppy up. There we go. Let's see how it goes. Woo! Okay, I know why it popped out, because it just would have fallen into the abyss, so it doesn't really matter, but that's kind of funny. I didn't think that was going to happen. But anyway, let's get the fruits of our labor, though. A traveler's bow, which I can't collect. Hold on. Boko blow. Boko... Oh my god, Boko bow. Sweet Jesus, do I need to, like, censor myself or something? Cause I knew that was bad without even having to do that in the replay. Okay. But, yeah, that was the Owa Daim Shrine. And in the next episode, we're going to go on to the last shrine. And I'm probably going to do some cooking off screen and then tell you guys what I make. Because, the last shrine that we need to get to is going to be in a bit more hazardous territory, to put it mildly. But I will see you guys next time.